Hey, this is Dave Walker, and we're here at the TV tour in Southern California, the Television Critics Association Winter TV Tour. And I'm with Neal Justin of the Minneapolis Star-Tribune. Neal, thanks for talking to me about this.
Sure.
What we do in these videos is we sort of talk about what we're watching, what we're looking forward to seeing, sessions that we've seen at the tour that maybe have given us an opportunity to take a second look at a show.
Yeah.
What are you watching right now that you would watch if you didn't have to? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Well, a lot of Amazon stuff, Dave. I think this is really a period for streaming video, and you know, the Golden Globes was an interesting night. Watching it here with other critics is always a treat. You get to see other people's response, and certainly Mozart in the Jungle, which we've kind of embraced, but not as much as some other shows. It was interesting to see that members of the foreign press were interested in that show enough to give it a couple awards. I'm not sure that raised the bar for me, but it certainly was of interest. And it's also interesting to see Crazy Ex-Girlfriend do well. And it's interesting to watch people here. That show was on my top 10 list, and I kind of thought I was going out on a limb, but talking to people here, even though it's the lowest rated show on network television, being here kind of reminds you that we still play a role, and that maybe we can help, along with awards like the Golden Globes, help a show like that at least get an audience. I hope people sample that show. I think that's the kind of show that can scare people off. Which leads me to one of the things I'm really looking forward to is the Grease panel coming up later this week. I think it's going to be a ratings bonanza, and I think unlike a lot of other musicals we've seen, Dave, they're songs people actually know.
Right. And you think about it, like every sorority does those songs. It's like every high school does that production. It's like those.
And I'm surprised how many. I've talked to some 12 and 13-year-old, and they're excited too. I think it's really going to hit every demographic. And I talked to some folks at CBS last night about whether they're going to get into the game or not. And I think everybody's going to. It's one of the ways I think network can survive live television that attracts a mass audience of all ages. So that'll be real interesting.
And I think they're real audience-pleasing moments, especially if it's a show that people know well. Like The Wiz was a great example. That was well performed and it did well.
Yeah, and it did well despite the fact that it was not a hit musical, and you didn't have Diana Ross and Michael Jackson. And you maybe know one tune out of there. That did well, and Peter Pan did well, again, without a lot of people knowing what's going on. So Grease should go through the roof.
Anything else on your radar that you would tip people to, things that you've seen? I really like The Night Manager. I don't know if you had a chance.
I've not seen it yet, but I think Vinyl on HBO. I think everybody expects good things because it's Martin Scorsese and Mick Jagger, although in his appearance here, it wasn't exactly clear how involved he is. But I always thought, I don't know what you thought, Dave, but I thought Boardwalk Empire was a little underrated. I thought it was one of the best looking shows, and it seems like Scorsese's experience with that was so positive that he may even be more involved.
And Terrence Winter's also showrunning.
Well, that guy's great, and I think he doesn't get the recognition as some of the other auteurs in television, and I think part of that is his personality, but his record is as good as anyone on TV.
And there are moments in the Vinyl, in what I've seen of Vinyl, that I thought were really great and also really true to rock and roll. I mean, a lot of time that's hard to portray. And I think they really capture a lot.
Especially now that we're dealing in the wake of David Bowie's death, you're kind of reminded there's a lot of young people. You look at iTunes today, there are 7 of the albums or so on are David Bowie albums. And I don't think we as a culture do a great job in this generation introducing them to other worlds, even 30, 40 years ago, because there's so much access to what's going on now. Television can do that. And I think whether you're looking at Mercy Street on PBS takes you back to the Civil War, or you look at Vinyl that takes you back to the 70s, television, even in a fiction form, still has that power to take people to different eras. And I love shows that take me somewhere that I've never been before. The last couple of years, I don't know about you, but I think it's happening more and more.
It's not too much TV, because when you find something like that you can lock in on, I think it's a great time to be writing about TV. It's a great time to be watching TV.
It really is, and it means you and I, even as much as we watch, we sometimes miss things. I will confess that I still have not seen Making of a Murderer, and I think I'm the only one here.
No.
Okay,
no.
You and I are the only one. But it's like, there's so much out there, and I'm going to watch it in the next couple of days, but it's exciting.
Yeah, it is. Thanks so much for doing this.
Okay,
Appreciate
Dave.
it. Take care.